So time now for our next midweek mindfulness podcast with Mike Kewley. Mike, what are we going to focus on today?
Well, we're going to focus on thoughts and how to work with thoughts.
Okay, so this is really an interesting concept that we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, because that's what puts lots of people off from trying to even be mindful at all, because they say, I can't stop the thoughts in my head. So presumably this is what this is going to address, is it?
Yeah, the aim isn't to stop your thoughts. They tend to die down the more practice you do. But another part of mindfulness is just to notice thoughts. They're allowed, but we just notice them. And that stops us getting tangled up in them.
Okay. Take it away.
Okay, again, you can do this practice wherever, whenever, in the car, standing up, sitting down, eyes open, eyes closed. I tend to do it eyes closed, and all you have to do is listen. Okay, so this is just a practice to develop metacognitive attention. So that's your ability to notice your mind, to observe your own mind. The more you can see the mind, the less you are pulled into it. Okay, so we're just developing that skill. So we're just going to start by focusing our attention into the feeling of breath as it passes through your nose. Okay, so just take a moment or two just to notice. Can you feel your breath there? Just that natural breath as it moves through your nostrils. And that's going to be our anchor, our focal point for this practice, okay? Just seeing if we can track or ride each breath as it passes through your nose. Just seeing if you can stay there as best as you can. Every time your attention wanders away into thoughts, that's okay, that will happen. But as soon as you catch yourself thinking, what we're going to do is mentally label that as thought. Almost like you've rubber stamped it, thought. And then as soon as you've stamped it, shift back into your breath. You do not need to follow that further. Okay? So shifting into your breath now. Noticing the temperature of your breath. Monitoring the texture of your breath. Is it smooth? Is it rough? Just staying there. And whenever you catch yourself thinking, you can just mentally label that as thought and then straight back to breath. Don't go looking for thoughts to label. Just stay with your breath, and at some point a thought will pop up. When it pops up, you just recognize it. It's a thought. Back to breath. You may notice that there's different kinds of thoughts that arise. So there's list making, planning, practical thinking. Okay, so if that arises, you can just label that thought and then come back to your breath. You might notice visual thoughts, like a film playing behind your eyes. And if that's there, okay, well, that's just a thought too. So you can label that thought. Again, back to breath. You may also notice internal chatter, the voice in your head, something like that. That's also just a thought. Okay, you're the one listening to that. So it's just a thought. So you can just label that thought. Again, shifting back into breath. And we're not trying to stop any thoughts, just let them come and go. But we're just developing our ability to recognize that that is just a thought. Not real, not true. It's just a thought. It has the power I give it. Can you notice any gaps between your thoughts? Are there any moments when you realise, oh, I'm not thinking right now. There's just the breath happening. Take a look at your mind right now. What's your mind doing? Okay, this is metacognitive attention, observing the mind. And your mind could still be busy, and that's okay, or it could be still, and that's okay too. Check between your ears, all right, for any internal chatter, and if that's there, that's okay, or there could be silence. You can drop down into your upper body, belly and chest, and just notice how that feels. Is there tension or tightness? Do you feel at rest, relaxed, still? And then finally shifting into your whole body on the chair. Okay, just the whole sense of your body. And see if you can find anywhere in your body right now that feels still, calm, at rest, relaxed. Just focusing your attention into that feeling or sensation. That's it. Well done. You can open your eyes, you can move, you can stretch. It's a simple practice, but what we're doing is changing our relationship to the mind. We don't have to be dragged into everything the mind presents to us.
Mike Kewley, thank you very much indeed. Just remind people where they can find out more about what you do.
www.myfreemind.org.